Good evening, Amit. I should say good morning to you and good evening, Satyajit. You're in India and Amit, you're in Los Angeles.
Yeah, good
Amit.
morning, Amit, and good
Hey,
evening,
hey
Vimal.
guys, how are you?
Hi,
All good.
Satyajit. Today, we would like to discuss, with both of you on, the Indian hardcore original Indian business or Indian spiritual matters or Indian culture, etc. I understand that you're doing a very interesting initiative called Indiful. So Amit, if you could just start off and how you thought of this idea and where we are taking it to, and what is it that we are going to contribute to the society in India as well as to the world through Indiful.
Sure. So again, let me start with what Awake really represents, and that is a new kind of business model, a new kind of distribution model, a new kind of job network, uh, which is for the people, by the people, you know, in a way. And the technology that we have built assists that process, this very natural process of people coming together and collaborating and cooperating to do some common goal, right? And that model is, we've turned that model and we've created a structure for that model called an Awake Media Market Network. So we're launching n number of these media market networks, right? We probably know what a news network is. It's in the news. Or what are the networks saying? Why is it called a network? Because it's a bunch of people collecting news and showing it to you, and they're mixing and matching and they're creating programming. So it's a news network. So like that, a media network, a media market network, which also introduces in that network the buyers and the sellers. It introduces also the commerce aspect of, transacting or exchanging. Because right now in the news network, you're exchanging information. You're exchanging news. You're exchanging, and it's, typically one directional, by the way, the old stuff. Even television is one directional, right? You receive, right? You're told what it is. Online, there is a chance of doing an exchange, of having a conversation, of having an engagement, coming together, collaborating, communicating, cooperating, right? That leads to natural exchange and it leads to commerce, trading, right? So we're emulating that. So these natural market networks exist in a variety of ways. They exist inside our friend circles, they exist at work circles, in religion, in interests, right? People like sports, people like, cooking, they like to knit. You can find a knitting network, Now, these networks exist all over the world and they exist on all kinds of digital platforms. Facebook being primary, right? So, and there's Reddit and there's Twitter and there's just a ton of these things. But they're all the modern internet platforms. We call it the internet. These internetwork of all these together is the internet. And what is common to all of these platforms are the people that are on all these platforms, the same people. I am on all these platforms because I care to be. I'm interested in those things. I'll be wherever I'm interested, right? So I find places where I can go and, find things of interest, people of interest, services of interest, ways to engage with like-minded, people and businesses, and, what else is it to be interested, right? So we are creating a variety of these things. And these things can be deployed not just on interest, but it can be deployed by age group. You could create a network for only young people, which we are doing. We can create a network for older people, which we're doing. You can create a network for geographies, right? Like Awake South Africa, Awake South Korea, Awake Canada, right? Which is a geography. You've heard of Pune Network, Incorna Network. You've heard Fargo Network. These are all geography-based networks, right? Now, Indiful, which is what we're talking about today, is a bit of a mix. It's a fusion of the country India and the Indian history and the Indic history and values and philosophies and the way of life of the Indic approach. Today represents the modern Indian, modern India, right? So we want to bring the essence of the Indic wisdom through a modern lens into the world again. So from a media standpoint, you will hear us talking a lot about, Indian culture and, arts and, Vedic sciences and all types of discourse, which we should be having because it has value in these troubled times. So you'll have that, but you'll also have a market network of modern Indian brands and old traditional brands and handmade products and handicrafts and Ayurvedic products and all kinds of modern products and services that one can imagine. So Indiful is that. That's Indiful. It's about India. It's about Indian products and services. It's global. It's a global market. I mean, India. The sort of spirituality and Indian religion is one of the fastest growing interest areas in the world, as it turns out right now.
Yeah.
So I'll stop there. It's sort of a service that we are creating for everyone to come and engage and to contribute and to earn part of the transactions as they happen, whatever you may be. So I'll hand it over to Satyajit. He's leading the effort. We can talk about a lot of interesting people and companies and other groups that are coming on board and associating. And over to you, Satyajit. Welcome to the show.
Very good, Satyajit. We would like to hear you, and what you feel about Indiful and what is the kind of contribution that it will be making to the society itself in India as well as across the globe.
See, I guess Indiful has been a concept which has been long overdue in this country because the reason why the globe looks at us is about the traditional values this ancient civilization held and has been basically contributing for years now. For years means for centuries, and I would say maybe for thousands and thousands of years. And that has attracted various people come over to India at various levels to do commerce, to learn, starting from people from Europe, starting from people from even from China, like Hyun Sang and all. They all came over to understand about the philosophy, culture, commerce, and the wealth this country had. So Indiful actually, the way we look forward is to showcase this whole treasure to the world and let them see India the way they have always been learning about it. So as Amit mentioned rightly, that talking about the products per se, talking about art, culture, talking about various religions coming together out here, because India has always welcomed people from all across the world at various points, those who have come over and settled, and India has welcomed their part of customs also in this, in the country. So that's how we look forward to take it in terms of bringing the cultures together, bringing the habits together, bringing even the food, cuisine, the products, even a lot of art and architecture, which have actually, which are slowly going off, to bring them back. Like say, suppose the Dokra art of Chhattisgarh or the Dokra art of maybe in Bengal, they are almost losing the glaze. So it's time that we need to celebrate the creators or the people, those who have been working on this, the artisans and all, and bring them over and get them over to the global audience per se. So more or less till now, and while we get into the discussion, we will take it forward.
Wonderful. What are the kind of products and the e-commerce opportunities, or the kind of commerce that you can do in this kind of an initiative, and how will it help our co-sellers, or how will it help the businesses to actually grow in this particular segment? And you please continue. I'll just be, going off the video because I have to put my charge. But I'm listening to you. I'll be just getting off. But
No
please
worries.
continue.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Go on.
starting off, like we picked up a first product or first segment, which is yoga and spirituality. That's what the whole world looks at us, uh, because for centuries people have been coming over in pursuit the of the ancient wisdom in terms of health, spirituality, and yoga being one of the major part which actually brings people to harmony. So we thought of picking up the first segment as yoga and spirituality, and we are working on it. Sooner it will be live, and you'll see quite a lot of people, those who have accomplished enough and those who can contribute enough to the world, to be basically participating in this program.
So, Vimal, the network part is where we are
Yeah.
focused right now. We're connecting to a lot of experts and scholars. We've got one of the premier Indic publication on our network as one of our advisors and, brand ambassadors. And it's called MLBD Publications, Motilal Banaras, one of the premier Indian,
And very old,
very,
and
very old.
very
They have
reputed for the best
25,000,
publications.
yes, 25,000, texts and books that are,
Yeah.
from the ancient and more modern, traditions of all in, Vedic knowledge and scholarly, literature is available to us now. And we're going to promote the top 100, 200, 500 of these absolutely, human treasures, right? These are treasures that we must share and celebrate with the world, because that's the kind of stuff. So that's just me getting off topic. But coming back to you, Jan, your question about e-commerce. See, yoga and spirituality is our initial areas, but that doesn't mean that it's all about yoga and all the ancillary products that you can think of. Like, for example, clothing line, a beautiful Indiful and other related clothing lines that people are creating, with all kinds of modern takes on the Indian design, clothing designs. There's lifestyle products, foods like, honey with the Ayurvedic properties. You have obviously all the trainers, the Ayurveda specialists, homeopathy, right? All of these things are products and services that the people need. And medicines can be dropped, shipped. You can get it in the mail. These are just, alternative ways of being healthy. And every other product, like all the religious products that you might need for any ceremony, all the spirituality related, category products, videos, books, accessories. We'll start with these. These are all often handmade, beautifully done by real people around the country, right? We're bringing back the, you go to any of these, you go to Taj Mahal today, as a tourist, I guarantee you'll pay 5,000 to 10,000 rupees and get ripped off by those people selling those trinkets and claiming that, when they're just exploiting the labor there. It's extraordinary, right? But there is a demand. People pay for that. I've paid, right? Not knowing that. And my intention is, these people definitely should make money, not knowing that it's a whole shills market. It's like it's extraordinary how much extraction there is at every level of society. So this is a foray into the very heartland of India. Everybody is going to come together and create what is the essence, of the products and services that India represents. It's not difficult to imagine what those are. It's all the things that
There are so many other, things like astrology.
Astrology,
Study
yeah.
Medical astrology.
Medical astronomy, using astronomy, palmistry, then Nadashastra. There are some 150 things which are thousands and thousands of years old. People say Sanskrit is the oldest language, but in India they say Tirukural, which is from Tamil Nadu, is even older than Sanskrit. Now this goes back, millions of, maybe thousands and thousands and thousands of years.
Yeah, the
So
nadis, right? You mean those nadi things? Those,
yes. So there are, the whole history. For example, three things I think India is really, should teach the world. One is, the aham brahmasmi. That's the concept that, Amit, you like to talk about. You know, that concept of aham brahmasmi. The second is, meditation, yoga, and Ayurveda. So these three things, meditation is all about mind. Okay, yoga is all about mind and body, and Ayurveda is all about the internal health, of the body. Yoga is about the external health. And the external and internal. So internalization, of health. When you combine yoga with Ayurveda, the effect of these herbs are 10 times more, because it Ayurveda, they say, is more a mental way of curing yourself with these balms, and those are external applications, and those massages and stuff that they have, urinal and perineal that you have, and these are called massages in Kerala, which remove all the toxins, which create pain, which create fat,
yeah.
health problems and stuff like that. So that combined with yoga creates the complete, in the spiritual aham brahmasmi aspect.
See, I'll tell
So
you very
would you like to
briefly,
throw some light on it, Amit?
yeah,
I'd like to.
I'll just very
Uh,
briefly give you an anecdote from my own experience on this. I've grown up as an engineer, and very much a believer until you can verify. I mean, that's just how, many people are rational. We call ourselves rational beings and all that stuff. And so you have to test this, right? What is this Brahmasmi, right? I mean, what? Just because you have this concept, does it make anything happen? Does anything change? Is there any practical use of these things? You see, I'm a very practical guy. How do I use it? How do I apply it? What is the practical, aspect of anything somebody says? Otherwise, it's just nothing. It's not anything. It has to be practical. So I've always worn glasses, and growing up, I've had, quite a bit of like prescription and so on. And at one point it was like, almost four, something like close to four. And then during this, maybe 2015, 16, 17, 18, during my sort of what I call my seeking years, where you become this intense seeker of the truth. I'm just using English words, but there are Sanskrit words for all these, none of which I knew, because I was it was falling into a rabbit hole. You don't go into it knowingly, you fall into it, right? And so anyway, I decided to, I got completely, for whatever reasons, I stopped wearing my glasses. I said, see, the whole thing is about the mind, and they said, if it's true that all there is mind, which is what the truth is, then I should be able to control, if nothing else. People say, oh, can you fly and all these things. At the very least, boss, I should be able to control my own body. Okay?
Correct.
So I said to myself, I should be able to fix my eyesight, right? Because at my own eyes, right? So I stopped wearing glasses. Okay, because also there was nothing to see. I would tell people, what is there to see outside? No point in seeing outside, right? So I stopped wearing glasses. My parents were like, you must be crazy and all that. And, went through, I forgot about it for a couple of years, 2 years. Just got used to not wearing it, just gave up wearing it. So I wasn't wearing it for a long time. And then finally in 2018, after not wearing it for like 2 years, I was in India. I said, I was passing by the thing. I said, I'll just stop by and get my eyes tested. And, it was in Bangalore actually. And left eye, there is almost zero power. Right eye is like about 0.5. Okay.
Oh,
And what was it before?
Huh? It was,
what was it before?
2.75 and almost 4.
My God.
Okay, so I just wear them now because I like to wear them. I've kind of gotten used to it again, and I bought it in Bangalore, so I wear it. But, you can control, it's mind over matter. You see, matter doesn't arise unless you have consciousness that it's arising. So that means, where does matter appear? It appears in your consciousness. Without consciousness, matter cannot arise. Okay, matter cannot exist. So one has to realize what is matter and what is mind. Before one can say body and all, one has to realize that body appears in mind. Mind does not appear in body. See, this realization flips the model. One has to realize what one is. What am I? You see, if I say I'm the body, then I should be able to know what am I. But I don't know what the body is. I don't know how anything works. Right? It's like, how can I not know myself? If I am the body, then why don't I know everything that's happening? How come I don't feel the digestion? I don't feel the blood flow, right? How come? Right? And also my body, the cells, every 7 years, the cells will replace themselves, So that means in a lifetime, your body cells replace the entire body multiple times, right? So which part of this body am I? You see? So when you trace this finally, you realize the truth. What is mind? What am I? What is this world? Then these words come out, like Aham Brahmasmi and all. That's an explanation of somebody who is experiencing that reality. But it cannot take you there. It is a concept when it is spoken, because Brahma itself is a concept. What is God? Nobody knows. It's just the all-powerful something. It's a strong belief, and one can experience the universe. And therefore, one believes there is a creator and so on and so forth. There is a God and everything. It's very reasonable, right? The world, God, and the individual, the triumvirate exist together. All three things, the individual, the all-powerful, and the universe.
Correct.
Very true. The existence of a creator is always there. Otherwise, the creation doesn't happen. So
that is... You see, this is an inference. The inference is that there is a creator because there is creation.
Very true.
Right? Correct. So because we don't know what is the creation, we just say there is a creation, but we don't know the nature of the creation. For example, if you're dreaming, what is the nature of that creation? You see? That nature of the creation is actually non-existential. It's not there. Right? However, it is perceived to be there as if it is real. And the knowledge that it is not real does not arise until it ends. When you wake up, you say, oh, that was not real, a mere dream, and so on. Again, words. We say the same creation that arose is called a dream when it is no longer experienced. However, that same creation is called the world in the process of experiencing it. So the knowledge of what it is not there.
True.
So that is the thing. One has to see what is the actual thing going on. And that will take us to the truth. And here, it is very important that all of us eventually realize this, and it will happen. There is inevitability because this is our true nature. So we are discovering ourselves. And Indiful and all these things are an expression of bringing people together and really just, letting ourselves be ourselves. And our nature is working together. Our nature is collaboration. Our nature is to take care of each other and to be together and to survive and to thrive together. That's our nature. That's actually what we want deep inside. We want peace and security and happiness and joy, which will never come when you think there is somebody else out there to get you. But there isn't anybody. It's all working together. That's it. End of story. We're all in it together. Global pandemic together. Climate change together. I mean, the earth is one. We're all one. So where is the question of anybody else?
And all the powers are within us to heal.
And when you operate in this manner, the universe is behind you. There is no question about it.
Very true.
That is the awakening. The virus now is acting as if we are not one. That's the virus. It's a disease of the mind. That virus has taken hold. You see? It's an idea. And this idea is a virus. That we are separate from each other. Because the fact is we're not, right?
True.
So the idea that we are separate is the virus. And we have to act in accordance to the truth. Because that's the natural way. There is no need to act. It's called action. It becomes action. So it takes effort to not act in that manner. I have to think, right? Oh, how will I take it for myself? But I don't need to think like that, right? I don't have to think at all. Just be. The natural way is to work with everybody. Where is the question of competition?
So
That's
just
thank you.
setting up all
Thank
these
you, Amit.
networks.
We had a wonderful discussion. Yes, sorry, Satyajit, you wanted to say something?
yeah, Vimal, I just wanted to
Conclude.
add that Ayurveda, when you had been mentioning, say, Ayurveda per se is not about cure. It's not curative. It's more preventive, actually. But the core part is it is basically a way of life where it connects a unique thing. Like, see, in normal modern medicine and all, they normally treat the body. But here, what happens is the whole process involves the mind, body, and soul. So that's how the whole, that's how we connect to the universe. And that has been there 5,000 years back, where it was more nature. And in fact, you'll be surprised, the first surgery actually happened during that time.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
See, in
So,
our own Vedas, you will find the metallurgy and the complex
Okay.
designs of spaceships, and all of that stuff is all defined in the Vedas itself.
Yeah. The Ganesha, Ganesh Chaturthi, we pray to Lord Ganesha. His head was, the elephant head was placed and there was surgery done at that point in time. That's what they claim.
Absolutely.
So it could have been, it could have existed. In fact, Sri Lanka is trying to prove Ravana had used that, flying machine, and they're trying to prove that it was there. We really don't know what was there
Absolutely.
millions or
There is no
thousands of years
question
ago.
about it. There is no question
in
about it.
fact,
My only thing is that man is constantly developing. If you look at 100-meter sprint in 1960s, 80s, and 20s, the person is running even faster than what he used to before. Why? The drivers are driving even faster. The basketball players are playing even better. The cricketers, what was the kind of cricket they played in the 70s and 80s, and the kind of cricket they're playing now? I mean, it's completely different. The kind of talent. You look at the dancing itself in the Bollywood films. Mithun Chakravarti versus Rakesh Roshan's son, Hrithik Roshan. Look at the energy level, the construct of the body, the construct of the mind, how the whole, the human race itself has developed to a different level altogether, So along with that development is what you see, the materialistic changes that happen around, So what we believe as humans is that the ultimate power is the creator, because whoever creates much larger dreams to reality in the real life world, is somebody whom we really look up to. That you take the names of anybody, the one who made Taj Mahal, or the one who made Eiffel Tower, or one who even the Wright brothers who invented the aeroplane. We really look up to them, Edison, or whoever you talk about, right? They have actually used creativity to create something new. That's an invention. So we call God as somebody who created the earth, because earth, whatever you see, is absolute perfection. This flower, is actually just it is orange in color when I bought it, and it turns to red, and from red it becomes maroon. Now, isn't that magic? In the small pot, when I bought it, he told me that it will change from orange to red. It's the same flower. Now it's red here and this is orange. You see this? Here it's yellow. You saw?
Yeah.
This is the color it came in, and it turns to red, and then it turns to maroon. Now I watch this every day. Like this, I've got some specialty plants which I watch and I see that is magic of nature. That is
what is
ultimate creativity.
Yeah.
And even magic, colors changing.
The order, you see, the second order one has to see, which is that the plants, the process of going from seed and doing this transformation will produce diversity. No two plants are the same at all, right? Nothing is common in the sense that they are unique. And at the same time, the same process of transformation is applicable every single time to every single atom in the universe. Right? Transformation.
Have you seen two butterflies same?
Butterfly effect?
No, never.
Two butterflies, have they ever been changed?
Yeah.
Never.
And the colors that come out of such an ugly, creature like a pupa and caterpillar, you can never match that. Science can never make blood, You can't make blood. How do you make blood? If you were so good in science, you could have made bone exactly as bone is. Why, after so many years, we couldn't make bone as bone is? Exact, composition.
But it can be done. You see, the material world is only matter. Okay, it's just matter. So you can rearrange matter in any way you want. But it's always changing, right? It's never static. It's always changing. So you can keep on, building castles in the sand and building this and building that. And the change of rise and fall of seasons and, your sort of ups and downs of life and all that stuff, right, is a repetition. It's a process. It's just mechanical. It's samsara. If you believe that it is important what happens. But to see that this is happening, that's the end.
We had a fantastic discussion today. Thank you, Amit. Thank you, Satyajit.
It was such a pleasure. It was long overdue. I was trying to basically work it out, but it was not happening. So it's good that we connected.
Absolutely. And we'd love to have you back and, keep the updates going and, telling the world about the story. We should have some guests that you might bring along and have an extended chat, So let's keep this.
Maybe sometime we can get Mr. Jain also talk about, Indian philosophy and all. He can basically do that because
see, one of the things we are doing is
growing in that family.
Vedas. We will set out a global call for Vedic scholars.
Correct.
Okay, and I want to create a think tank around all the wisdom that is already available in these ancient texts. In Russia and Germany and places, they're doing Vedic research. They're bloody tapping into all our blueprints for like the future of medicine and the future of, metallurgy and the future of all kinds of industries. I mean, why not? We're stupidity to like ignore
ridiculous.
Our own.
Amit, you will be surprised. When I was in Moscow, I actually visited a couple of places where they are making instrument to do the Nadi Pariksha. Nadi Pariksha, which has been the code in Ayurveda.
People have understood that, because the saint Vishwamitra, I believe it was, or who was it? I think it was, who went to Russia, So there was a sage who spread the knowledge there, And same thing happened in Germany as well. There are sages who have gone around and have, it's just the same thing, right? So there are people out there in the world who are aware of the truth and are in fact searching for all kinds of knowledge which is already there. There's nothing new, Vimal, in the universe. Nothing new.
There's nothing new. Absolutely. Everything is there it only has to be that the marketer of that or the preacher of that has to have the right insight.
Is the egg, the cosmic egg, the tree that you're looking at over there, Vimal. Whatever happens to that plant, the entirety of it was in the seed of it.
Yeah, that's the beauty.
The seed had everything, including the time and unfolding of it.